Welcome to Signaturetv News this hour. I am Pius Charles. First, let's take a look at the headlines. Dana aircraft skids off runway in Lagos. Enugu State government takes over regulatory oversight of electricity market. Campaign by the Enugu State government against sit-at-home leads to improved social and economic activities in the state. 4,000 displaced as Anambra demolishes illegal structures in Onitsha. Federal government begins unbundling of 11 discos, orders sale of 4. Owner of Abuja Chinese supermarket denies barring Nigerians in the foreign scene. 10 Malaysian Navy helicopters collide midair, killing 10 people. Volunteers deliver food aid in Jabalia as hunger stalks the Gaza Strip. In sports, Bomati and Djokovic win top laurels awards. Tonight, we uncover the ongoing struggle of the sit-at-home Mondays in the Southeast. What began as a plea for Nnamdi Kanu's release has left a $10.4 billion annual economic scar. Following efforts by Governor Peter Mba's administration, there is now improved tempo of social and economic activities in the state. Though businesses grapple with tradition versus progress, the search for a lasting solution continues. Here is the special report. If you live in the Southeast, you may be familiar with that mixed feeling of Monday. Monday sit-at-home dates back to August 2021 when IPOB, that's Indigenous People of Biafra, imposed sit-at-home on members of the public from the Southeast in order to pressure the Nigerian government to release their leader, Nnamdi Kanu. As a matter of fact, that move that was seen as a welcome development at that time now seemed like something that has come back home to bite hard. We are standing behind a major road leading to a main market, that's the Ababa market. And it does look like you can apparently count the amount of vehicles that is flying this road on a very busy Monday. The sit-at-home directive has arguably caused more harm than good. According to the International Center for Investigative Reporting, ICIR, the Southeast loses approximately $10.4 billion annually due to the shutdown of businesses, markets, banks, and schools on Mondays alone. Despite the ongoing economic strain, the government has not met the demands of releasing Nnamdi Kanu, leaving businesses crumbling and residents sinking deeper into poverty. Some governments in the Southeast, including Enugu State, looked the opposite direction, while the non-state actors held sway. The situation, however, changed with the emergence of Peter Mba as governor of Enugu State last year. The administration made every attempt to halt the sit-at-home by engaging stakeholders and enforcing penalties for non-compliance. However, this approach led to clashes between shop owners and law enforcement agencies, resulting in some fatalities. A visit to various markets, banks, and major roads in Enugu revealed an increase in economic activities from what it was before. While some areas like Obete, Artisan, and Abapa markets are scantily busy with activities, others remain quiet. We are at Akwata New Market in Enugu State, one of the major markets in Enugu State. Today is Monday, and like you can see, the gates, the 2 gates are opened, and there is nobody shopping or even here to sell. Residents share their perspective on the extended weekends and the detrimental impact of the sit-at-home on their businesses and livelihoods.
It is true that things are not moving well. There is hunger because of this sit-at-home, but there is cause of this sit-at-home in which government know. This sit-at-home, now if they release Nnamdi Kanu, the sit-at-home will stop by itself. You understand? Even me as a transporter, it's affecting me, but I don't have option than to keep my trucks on Mondays.
The reason why we're not going out at Monday sit-at-home because of the one they give us, because of Nnamdi Kanu. They say we should not come out. When you come out, they will burn our company. That's the reason why we're not coming out also on Mondays. So secondly, you normally know that some people are afraid to come out on Monday because I think that will come out on Monday will cause a problem to them. So that is why everybody will scare away. The
sit-at-home thing is really affecting us because we are not able to make sales and there are not enough customers to come. Because they used to fear. You know, like sometimes they go down sit-at-home here, the customers here, you're just hearing gunshots from nowhere. You have to run away. So since that time, more customers are not coming, and it's really affecting the business. Like maybe in a day, I used to make sales of 100,000, 200,000 something. Now it's hardly on this Monday. Sometimes 1,000, 2,000. I will not even make sales.
Even though there has been a reverse order about sit-at-home, with the IPOB insisting that the only day allowed for a sit-at-home are days Nnamdi Kanu goes to court, some residents have refused to heed such orders. We are at the very popular Otiba Junction, where New Haven, GRA, Old Artisan intersects. As a matter of fact, this particular junction welcomes over 500,000 vehicles daily, but on a Monday, it looks like a shadow of itself. One government official that I spoke to earlier says that they are done asking people or begging people or even forcing people out of their homes to their various businesses or to their shops. But one thing that I know that they have done is that all government offices in the state are open for business. The Enugu State government has taken steps to enforce a stop to the sit-at-home by directing that all public servants must go to work on Monday. In obedience to this directive, all state government parastatals, ministries and schools are now open on Monday, signaling a commitment to reviving economic activities.
Well, the primary objective of my visitation here this morning is largely to observe the level of compliance with the order that we gave last week, which is declaring that we no longer have Mondays sit at home. So the order was meant to ensure that our people come out on the first working day of the week and be productive. And from what I could see going around the various ministries, we do have a compliance level of about 60 to 70%.
The sit-at-home order in the southeast has become a complex issue with significant economic and social ramifications. While it began as a means of political protest, its prolonged enforcement has taken a toll on businesses and livelihoods. A good number of Igbo leaders, including the Ohanese, have severally appealed to both the former President Muhammadu Buhari and the incumbent President Bola Tinubu to release the IPOB leader as a lasting solution to the Monday sit-at-home and the attendant effect on the economy of the region. It is hoped that this call will sooner or later get the attention of the presidency and help reignite the economy of the region and the country at large. Charles Pius reporting for Signature Television. Reports say a Dana aircraft has veered off the runway of the domestic wing of the Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos Tuesday morning. Already, the management of the airline has confirmed that all the 83 passengers and crew aboard the flight with registration 5NBKI were safely disembarked by the airline's crew. Dana spokesperson Kingsley Ezenwan in a statement says while the airline regrets the incident, they have also updated the Accident Investigation AIB and Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority NCAA on the incident. He further said that the aircraft involved has been grounded by their maintenance team for further investigation. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has announced the transfer of regulatory oversight of the Enugu electricity market to the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission, EERC, with effect from May 1st, 2024. The move, which marks the first ever transfer of regulatory powers from NERC to a state government electricity regulator, is contained in a memo issued by NERC and signed by its chairman, Sanusi Garba, and Commissioner Legal, Licensing and Compliance, Dafe Akbeneye, on Monday. The decision to cede regulatory authority to the EERC is a fallout of the recent amendment of the Constitution, which removed the power sector from the exclusive legislative list, thereby allowing for the decentralization of power generation, transmission and distribution to federating units. The memo outlines the framework under which states can establish their regulatory authorities and manage the transition of oversight, but adds that states intending to regulate their electricity markets must notify NERC and the relevant distribution licensee. This decentralization initiative aims to enhance efficiency and responsiveness in the management of electricity services by aligning regulatory oversight more closely with local needs and conditions. Under the new regulatory order, the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC, is mandated to establish a subsidiary known as EEDC Subco under the Companies and Allied Matters Act, which will be responsible for the localized supply and distribution of electricity exclusively within Enugu State. EEDC must finalize the incorporation of the EEDC Subco within 60 days from the effective date, after which the subsidiary is required to secure a license from the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission for its operations. The EEDC, according to the regulation, is tasked with clearly defining the geographical boundaries of its network within Enugu State to ensure that it operates independently of networks in neighboring states by installing boundary meters at all crossing points. The Enugu State government says it will conduct the verification exercise for the next of kin of deceased pensioners in the state. This verification exercise will take place on Thursday, April 25th and Friday, April 26, 2024. Is to ensure the accurate processing and disbursement of benefits to the families of deceased pensioners. To participate in the verification exercise, the relations of the deceased pensioners are to supply their full names, bank details, bank verification number, valid accessible email and phone numbers. According to a statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Chidiebere Onya, such next of kin are also to bring pension authorization, national identity number or voter's card, passport photograph, affidavit confirming his status as the next of kin, as well as the death certificate, burial poster or burial program, bank statement of the deceased pensioner detailing transactions from the date of death until the current date. The statement adds that living pensioners who hold joint accounts with another person where both names are listed together must open a separate individual account for their pension payments to ensure smooth processing and accurate disbursement of pension benefits. It further states that participation in the verification exercise is crucial to ensure proper record keeping and rightful disbursement of pension benefits to the families of deceased pensioners. Onitsha South local government area of Anambra State have demolished illegal structures and shanties along the bank of the River Niger by Niger Street, Fege, Onitsha. The exercise, which started on Sunday and continued on Monday, saw the demolition of machine houses, stores and sand beaches of sand miners and traders doing their business along the area. The demolition is reported to have affected several equipment houses, shops and business premises. This is coming barely a month after over 2,300 shops in the same area were demolished by the council area. This exercise is said to have displaced no fewer than 4,000 sand miners and traders doing business and trading in the area. The demolition was supervised by the chairman of Onitsha South Local Government Area, Emeka Oji, accompanied by over 15 operatives of the Anambra State Vigilante Service. Speaking during the exercise, Oji re-emphasized the state government's determination towards reclaiming the land from the present occupiers. As the demolition was ongoing, some of the affected sand miners were seen hurriedly removing their equipment, including sand drilling machines, while the traders among them were seen removing their commodities, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, food, and snacks from the scene. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, over an ongoing 8 billion naira money laundering probe. It was gathered that the indicted former Minister of Aviation arrived at the Federal Capital Territory Command of the EFCC at about 1 p.m. on Tuesday. Following his arrival at the command, Sirika is currently meeting with EFCC investigators to answer questions on alleged fraudulent contracts awarded by him to a company known as Egigrios Nigeria Limited, owned by his younger sibling, Abubakar Sirika, who was arrested on Sunday, February 4th, has since been assisting the Commission in its probe of the Aviation Ministry's financial expenditures during Sirika's tenure. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has sworn to follow the prosecution of former Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello to logical conclusion. In a chat with journalists at the EFCC headquarters in the Jabi area of Abuja on Tuesday, the anti-graft chairman vowed to resign as EFCC chairman if Bello is not prosecuted. Olukoyede vowed that all those who obstructed the arrest of the former governor would be made to answer for their role. The EFCC is seeking to arraign Bello on 19 counts bordering on alleged money laundering, breach of trust, and misappropriation of funds to the tune of 80.2 billion naira. He said that no matter what anyone does or the amount of attack against the anti-graft agency, he and his men will not relent in helping to sanitize the country. Olukoyede said the EFCC needs the support of Nigerians to succeed, as he emphasized that if the agency fails, Nigeria fails. According to him, the efforts made currently has helped the value of the naira and the foreign market. Meanwhile, the EFCC has served a copy of the charge sheet of alleged frauds to the tune of 80 billion naira against the immediate past governor of his lawyer, Abdul Wahab Mohammed. This followed the Tuesday order by Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja after Bello's absence in court. He was absent from the court for his arraignment on a 19-count charge of alleged money laundering to the tune of 80 billion naira. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, believes the country is not mature for state policing despite the countless security challenges facing it. He spoke on Monday during a national dialogue on state police held in Abuja with the theme Pathways to Peace, Reimagining Policing in Nigeria. The police boss argued, among other factors, that there is the potential for abuse of power by the state political leadership, citing that state governors could use the police forces under their control for political or personal gain and undermine human rights and security. According to the police chief, there is also a need to ramp up the yearly recruitment of officers and ensure more training for police personnel, among others. At the events attended by several top government officials in the country, former President Goodluck Jonathan, however, believes that despite the challenges, state police have become non-negotiable. He says the spike of kidnapping and other crimes make state police a must-have in present-day Nigeria. Apart from Jonathan, the event also had Vice President Kashim Shettima in attendance, and he expressed President Bola Tinubu's commitment to building a better police force for the country, noting that his principal is ready to listen to submissions from the national dialogue. A retired Major General and former sole administrator of Nigeria Customs Service, Samuel Omlago Ango, has met strong resistance after he attempted to forcefully remove his wife from her residence. Juliet Ango confirmed this in an exclusive interview with Signaturetv. Here's the report. Juliet Ango, with the assistance of policemen, thwarted attempt by her husband, retired Major General Samuel Omlago Ango, and suspected thugs to forcefully eject her from her residence on Saturday. In an exclusive interview with Signaturetv, she confirmed that she has petitioned the Inspector General of Police over the incident.
I had gone to see my lawyer earlier this morning. He is writing a petition to the IG. Let us write to him officially. Okay. Apart from the petition, he's saying he's going to copy some people. Then he's going to file for contempt of court.
On Saturday morning, retired Major General Samuel Omlago Ango, accompanied by over 50 suspected thugs, caused substantial damage to the residence and personal possessions of his wife, Juliet Ango. According to her, the thugs gained entrance into the property by jumping over the fence and immediately started destroying various parts of the building, including the roof, windows, and parts of the fence.
This is not the first attempt that they've made to break into this house. 2018, he did the same thing. But because along the line, they pleaded we should drop the case. We filed in court that time and continue with the main case. Out of that, and I told my lawyer, it's okay. Since they've pleaded, let us drop it, no problem. Let us go on with the main case. Because I filed for judicial separation. What led to me filing for judicial separation was sometime in 2017, yes. He served me a letter through his lawyer. You know, this while I had been pleading through my family members, through his friends, through friends, that they should plead with him. I know that the marriage is over, but at least, please come, let us discuss. Let's see how we'll move ahead. We have a child between us. Let's discuss how things are going to be between us, how we are going to discuss about taking care of our son. He sent me a message back. He said, this is my preaching, and I should stop this preaching that I'm preaching.
Retired Major General Samuel Omlago Ango, who confirmed the incidents to Signaturetv over the phone, insisted that the matter was in court.
I've spoken to the press enough. I don't want this case to reach, as you are aware, it's in court. So let it be. Let the court take decisions.
Since 2013, the House has been a subject of litigation in the FCT and Kaduna State. The owner of an Abuja-based Chinese supermarket, criticized for barring Nigerians and restricting entry to Chinese nationals, has refuted claims that her store is only meant for a specific group of people. She also clarified that her establishment is not a supermarket, but rather a retail shop aimed at meeting the essential needs of her local community. Leo Bio disclosed this in a signed statement in Chinese and English language on Tuesday, noting that she felt scared seeing many people she didn't know in front of her store. Her reaction follows a summon, notice and threats of sanctions by the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission on Monday after it sealed her store. On the foreign scene, 2 Malaysian Navy helicopters have collided mid-air during a rehearsal for a naval parade on Tuesday, killing all 10 crew members aboard. The Navy in a statement says the incident occurred at the Lumut Naval Base in the western state of Perak at 9:32 a.m. on Tuesday morning, adding that it will carry out an investigation into the cause. A video circulating on local media showed several helicopters flying in formation when one of the choppers, rotor, clipped another before both aircraft crashed into the ground. Local police have confirmed the footage is genuine. Defense Minister Mohammed Khalid Nordin says efforts are underway to verify the identities of the crew members killed, all of whom were below the age of 40. Volunteers have delivered food aid in northern Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp on Monday as the Strip continues to grapple with the risk of famine. Crowds of children with their families queued to receive the food cooked in large pots and distributed to residents amongst damaged roads and buildings. The U.S. State Department in its annual report on Monday says the war between Israel and Hamas that has killed tens of thousands of Palestinians in Gaza resulted in a severe humanitarian crisis has had a significant negative impact on the human rights situation in the country. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres had last week said Israel's commitments to improve aid access in the Gaza Strip have had limited and sometimes zero impact as he pushes for urgent, meaningful and measurable progress to avert famine. United Nations has long complained of obstacles to getting aid in and distributing it throughout Gaza during the 6-month-old war between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas, which rules the enclave of 2.3 million people. Israel, which denies hindering humanitarian relief to Gaza, has said that aid is moving into Gaza more quickly, but the amount is disputed, and the United Nations says it is still much less than the bare minimum to meet humanitarian needs. Israel launched its assault in response to a Hamas attack on October 7th, in which Israel says 1,200 people were killed. A severe week-long heat wave sweeping over Bangladesh has seen scorching temperatures rise up to 43 degrees Celsius as authorities issued a nationwide heat wave alert on Monday. Authorities have temporarily shut schools for the week and asked people to stay out of the sun to avoid heat stroke. Workers who toiled outdoors, like laborers and rickshaw drivers, say the brutal heat has become extremely challenging. The heat wave has also left some animals in the zoo suffering and panting from the punishing heat. The government has directed all hospitals to stay prepared as heat strokes and dehydration may go rampant in the South Asian nation due to this heat wave. South Korea's activists, including a toddler and children, have gathered at the Constitutional Court on Tuesday for a public hearing into a case filed by 24 young environmental activists against the government, claiming that it had failed to protect them by not addressing climate change. The hearing at the Constitutional Court in the first climate-related litigation first in Asia, the plaintiff said that that includes 4 petitions from children and infants dating back to 2020, including one by a fetus by the time who was nicknamed Woodpecker and is now 1-year-old Choi Woo-hee. Scientists say a global temperature rise beyond 1.5 Celsius above the pre-industrial average will trigger catastrophic and irreversible impact from melting ice sheets to the collapse of ocean currents. Burning of fossil fuels and the carbon heats this emits has been linked to rising temperatures, and South Korea's economy relies heavily on such fuels for growth. It has sought to reach carbon neutrality by 2050. Reports say police have arrested several people at a pro-Palestinian demonstration at New York University in Manhattan on Monday as the war in Gaza continues to echo through U.S. university campuses. Eyewitness footage shows heavy police presence on the scene of the protest after nightfall. Officers moved in on the New York University crowd after hundreds of demonstrators defied university warnings that they would face consequences if they failed to vacate a plaza where they had gathered. A New York police spokesperson said the total number of arrests and citations would remain unknown until later. No immediate injuries were reported. Protests at Yale, Columbia, New York University, and other university campuses across the U.S. began in response to the escalation of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict following Israel's fierce military retaliation after Hamas fighters rampaged through Israeli towns on October 7th, killing 1,200 people and abducting another 253, according to Israelis' tallies. Israel has killed more than 34,000 people in Gaza, according to Gaza health authorities. China's foreign ministry has on Monday called for Germany to stop its Cold War mentality after reports that Germany arrested an EU parliamentary staffer on espionage for China charges. The foreign ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin says the intention of hype is very obvious and an attempt to discredit and suppress China and destroy the atmosphere of cooperation between China and Europe. While acknowledging the reports during a regular briefing in Beijing, Wang also called for Germany to stop engaging in what it described as anti-China political manipulation. In sports, Spain's World Cup winning midfielder, Aitana Bonmati, has been named the Sportswoman of the Year, while Serbia's Novak Djokovic captured the top men's honor at the L'Euro Award ceremony on Monday. Bonmati, who has cemented her place at the top of women's football by winning FIFA's best Ballon d'Or and World Cup MVP, among other accomplishments, made her way on to the stage for a second time on Monday as the Spanish women's football team were named Team of the Year, the first female squad to win the award. 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady handed Djokovic his 5th L'Euro Award after the top-ranked tennis player enjoyed a remarkable 2023, reaching all 4 major finals and winning 3 to equal Margaret Court's all-time record haul of 24 Grand Slam titles. And thousands of Inter Milan fans took to Piazza Duomo in the heart of the city on Monday evening, casting shades of blue and black against the backdrop of the Milan Cathedral as they celebrated the Nerazzurri clinching a 20th Serie A title. Inter Milan defeated cross-city rivals AC Milan 2-1 at the San Siro Stadium, which the two clubs share, to give Simone Inzaghi's side an inassailable lead in the standings. A goal from Francesco Azebi and Marcos Thuram in each half proved sufficient to secure Inter's victory, with Fikayo Tomori scoring a late goal to reduce the deficit. Inter, who have lost only once in the league this season, hold a 17-point advantage over second place Milan with 5 matches remaining. And that's Signature TV News Update. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Pius Charles.